With 6 events, over 600 kilometres of racing and a highly credentialed field, the 2012 edition of the Real Insurance XCM series is ready to set a new benchmark for mountain bike racing in Australia. With the East Coast weather proving to be uncooperative, rescheduling saw riders taking on 3 tough events over 3 weeks, making recovery just as important as the race itself.
Probably for most riders, everyone's expecting this to start a month earlier in Canberra, and then now it's time to turn it up instead.
The series opener was a new event, the Wombat 100, which would take riders to the Macedon Ranges of Victoria.
There's plenty of good girls out there. Tori Thomas is definitely one to watch on the single track. Becky Mates is pretty strong. I know she's concentrating on the series this year, so she's been putting in a lot of training while I've been doing the cross-country series.
From the gun, it was Merida Flight Centre's Adrian Jackson driving the record-sized elite field at a blistering pace. Rockstar Racing's Sean Lewis and defending XCM Series champion Dylan Cooper managed to match his pace, but it was Jackson first to crest the King of the Mountain climb. Meanwhile, Jenny Fay was putting the hurt on the women's field, leading out Peter Mullins and Tori Thomas. Despite the pain of racing, riders still had time to admire the natural beauty of the area. Just a few kilometres before the finish, Lewis and Jackson put the hammer down, getting away from Cooper, and after over 100 kilometres of racing, it came down to a thrilling sprint finish. Lewis pipped Jackson by just a few inches for a breakthrough win.
Close finish, and the last 30 k's pretty fast, and there was 3 of us together till about 10 k's to go. Got to sit on Adrian for the last bit and then hope for the sprint.
But having these 2 as teammates was pretty hard. They were attacking me a few times and I had to close a few gaps, so yeah, tough day.
The rest of the top 5 saw Dylan Cooper take 3rd, followed by Ben Mather and Paul Redenbach.
Good work, Jenny.
Jenny Fay finished how she started, strong and unchallenged for the lead.
My aim was to stick with the guides as much as I could in the first hour and a half, because I knew it would be relatively controlled. So I enjoyed the first hour and a half. I had some dark moments in the middle, and then long miles on the turbo and on the road from the last few weeks has certainly paid off.
Peter Mullins held on for 2nd, while Tori Thomas filled out the women's podium. A cold and foggy start for the 2nd leg of the series took riders to the nation's capital for a race ominously titled Capital Punishment. Riders traverse Canberra, passing through 4 forests, and it includes an untimed liaison through the city. All the main contenders were on the start line, and there was plenty of excitement as well further back in the field.
Last time I did it, I wasn't feeling too well, but today I'm feeling good, so I'm ready to tackle it.
But I'm having to do about 5.5, 6 hours today, so see how we go.
From the start, Real Insurance National Cross Country Series winner Andy Blair was keen to set the early pace, but XCM Series leader Sean Lewis was determined to stay firmly glued to his wheel. The leading bunch, who included solo 24-hour world champion Jason English, Dylan Cooper and Adrian Jackson, stayed tightly packed through the Majura section. The climb to the King of the Mountains would be the first test for the group. Peter Hatton set a fierce tempo, but it was Lewis who attacked, taking precious seconds at the end of the first time section and moving up to equal first in the series KOM rankings. Jenny Fay again was putting on a dominant display, leading at the midpoint and taking the Queen of the Mountain points. After the restart, with the kilometres ticking by to the finish, the leading group remained together, but now with other riders to overtake, position and tactics would prove vital. The finale coming down to a 3-way sprint, and Lewis again taking the victory ahead of Cooper and Blair. Adrian Jackson adding to his series tally with a 4th place, while one of last year's major contenders, Peter Hatton, took 5th.
To win last week and then this week, to go back-to-back for 2, it's obviously a perfect start to the series for myself, and looking forward to upcoming races.
So I tried to put it down to the final descent. I did just what I could to block on the climb, and so I just opened it up on all the sort of fire road sections to maintain the lead, and then you've got to be really on your game to unload those two. So we came down together, but I'm happy with that.
With a second victory in the bag, Rockstar Racing's Jenny Fay is well on the way to achieving her goal of a second consecutive XCM Series overall title.
It's nice now so that 3 races in a row, there's no training to do, so it's like my motto is train hard, race easy.
Team Talk's Becky Mates took the second step of the podium, Brooke Rowlands 3rd, and Maggie Singe rounding out the women's elite field. With over 200 kilometres of rough and challenging racing already completed in the Real Insurance XCM Series, there'd be plenty of tired legs rolling up to the start line of round 3, the Convict 100 in the sleepy hamlet of St Albans near Sydney. The riders rolled out under a carpet of autumnal fog, but things soon heated up as a group including Andy Blair, Adrian Jackson, Ben Mather and Trenton Day broke away from the huge field of over 2,000 riders. Jackson, the second over the KOM, maintaining his grasp on the polka dot jersey. Series leader Sean Lewis, evidently feeling the previous 2 weeks of racing in his legs, slipping off the back on the first climb. Few were surprised to see specialist climber Jenny Fay cresting the Queen of the Mountains first, Becky Mates in second, still inside of the leader. With the punishing sandstone trails taking their toll, the group was now down to just 3 riders, Blair, Jackson and 20-year-old rising talent Trenton Day. The kayak bridge, the most distinctive feature of the Convict 100, taking riders over the McDonald River and onto the final section of the course. Andy Blair, the first to cross, followed by Day, the pair dropping Jackson during the descent of Shepherd's Gully. Jenny Fay took a cautious approach to crossing the bridge, while others did not. On the final dirt road run to the line, Blair hit full gas to drop Day and solo all the way back to St Albans. Andy Blair taking a triumphant win and smashing the course record by over 9 minutes.
Sort of where I want to be at the moment with sort of the goals I've got coming up with the marathon national champs. But yeah, you know, it's getting bigger and bigger being now part of the Real Insurance XCM series. So, you know, every win in this series means a lot. And Sean Lewis won the first 2. He's a really good friend of mine. And yeah, you know, it's hard to live that down when you're out training together, but now I've got one on him. Ben Mather recovered from a slow start to take 3rd, while Adrian Jackson turned in another consistent result in 4th.
Jenny Fay across the line and the female champion.
3 wins in 3 weeks for Jenny Fay, the Irish-born rider on track to achieve her goal of winning every race in the series.
This one, I was planning to put it to bed this time. I had a few demons from the past few years, so I was determined the 3rd race in three weeks I wanted it to be my best result.
Becky Mates and Janet Martin rounded out the podium for the elite women, but it's Fay who holds a very tight grip on the overall title on 5,789 points. Amanda Kleifers moved up into 2nd and Becky Mates 3rd. With his win in round 3, along with consistent results in the previous 2 rounds, Andy Blair climbed to the top of the rankings on 6,845 points. Adrian Jackson's consistency has kept him in 2nd, while Andrei Slezak has moved up to 3rd. The series of 6 events is far from over, and the next round of the Real Insurance XCM series moves to the New South Wales South Coast for the Husky 100 on June 30. Tim Sheedy for Cycle Nation.